We go live to Ecuador. Electoral authorities are providing a briefing before the beginning of the vote counting process.
Sin ninguna incidencia. Pasadas las 13 horas, se registraba más del 45% de la participación de los ciudadanos en territorio nacional y realizaba la invitación la señora presidenta para que puedan seguir acercándose a los recintos para que puedan sufragar en esta jornada del 20 de agosto. También estaba en este informe el señor ministro del Interior, Juan Zapata, quien destacó que se han desplegado más de 100.000 funcionarios del eje de seguridad distribuidos en los 3 centros de mando
over 1,000
para garantizar el normal desarrollo de los
military
comicios.
officers
De la
to
misma forma, la articulación
provide security for
realizando con
our
las Fuerzas
borders
Armadas,
and the rest of the
quienes
staff.
están también apoyando en el monitoreo, inteligencia y sobrevuelos para salvaguardar la seguridad.
We would also like to thank the rest of the staff who is here supporting the elections, realizing, taking into account the activities that they performed and the vote counting and the whole process.
No importa que esté caducada. En este momento estamos ya evidenciando
Right now we are
el
here
reporte del sistema informático
witnessing the report of the information system,
con 0 votos para todos los binomios respectivos.
which is now reporting 0 votes
El notario procederá
from each
a aplicar las respectivas rúbricas
voting
y
candidate.
sellos que ratifican este procedimiento.
We are seeing the images from the state of Ecuador's National Electoral Council, as they have been giving a short briefing of how everything is ready to start the vote counting process once the polls close. They were showing documents demonstrating that all the tallies are in zero, so no vote has been counted, but showing the transparency and the legitimacy of this process that is due to start very shortly. Ecuador's election day has been fairly calm, despite the tense path towards this election day, with an insecurity crisis that saw the murder of one of the candidates. Police and military officers have been out on the streets in force during the day to ensure the safety of the voters and everyone involved, and that the process is carried out normally, as it has occurred. There were issues during the day. People from abroad, Ecuadorians living outside of the country, have been reporting that they have been able to vote from where they're living, especially from the US and Europe. The president of the Ecuador's National Electoral Council, in her latest briefing, said that these issues have been seen and that they will be continuing monitoring the situation to ensure that the voting takes place normally. Today's election comes early. Guillermo Lasso put in effect something that the Constitution allows, something called the cross death, la muerte cruzada. He was experiencing an impeachment process, and before he was impeached, he called on this law of the country's constitution that dissolved the government and calls for these early elections that are being held today. We're seeing the process of all the signings of the pertinent documents to continue with these general elections that are held today in Ecuador. In the latest report given by the Electoral Council, over 50% of the electoral roll had participated in today's voting day. Authorities have said that Ecuadorian families decided to come out early, all because of this insecurity crisis that the country is experiencing, to come out early and carry out their constitutional right to elect their authorities. The government attributes this insecurity crisis to drug trafficking cartels that are fighting for power over the routes of these illegal drugs.
Los resultados estarán disponibles para que la ciudadanía los pueda seguir en tiempo real en la página web www.cne.gov.es. También a través de la
Critics have blamed the sharply rising violence on drug traffickers, as we were saying, and Ecuador's unemployment woes and the country's recent insecurity was on display, as we mentioned last week, when Villavicencio, a former investigative journalist and lawmaker, was gunned down while leaving a campaign event. He was one of the candidates for the presidency, but was murdered on one of his campaign events, showing the insecurity crisis that the country is facing. Homicides have more than tripled in the capital Quito over the past 3 years, and the coastal cities of Guayaquil and Esmeraldas have been ranked among the region's most dangerous. Deadly prison riots have also broken out on a regular basis, and presidential candidates who have beefed up protections and kept their schedules limited since Villavicencio's assassination made combating crime a central theme in their final campaign stops.
Les invitamos a seguir conectados a través de la señal del Consejo Nacional Electoral y a partir de las 17 horas el próximo enlace, la cadena nacional de radio y televisión, en la que seguiremos informando los detalles de esta
process. You can
democrática.
also see the results live from the voting counting on our website.
We're watching live images from the headquarters of the Electoral Council in Ecuador as they were all getting ready for the process of vote counting. They will show the legitimacy and transparency by showing that all the tallies are at zero, so no vote has gone in, so everything will start from scratch. And we will continue providing updates as the electoral authorities provide them live here at teleSUR English. So stay tuned with us for upcoming news brief and for more news on these and other topics.